Okay, so just before we look at Iclone, there was a few other things I've got to talk about. The few things are the extras that you get in the Reallusion store when you purchase the products. You will have a few extras. Now, one of the extras you will get is the DAS to Genesis extension. So if you go onto the Reallusion website and you make sure you've signed in, what you need to do is go into the registration section to access the full list of all your products and your serial keys. Okay. I'm going to cut out the serial keys obviously on this video and just show you how to get it running. So here we go. Right, so what we're looking for the DAS 3D Exchange is we're looking for the Iclone 3D Exchange pipeline. This product is required to use the DAS Studio Genesis extension, so you have to make sure you've purchased at least the Iclone 3D Exchange in order for this to work. And all you do is you click on download. When you do that, it will come up with this page and it will say Iclone 3D Exchange Pipeline. It will say main program. If you scroll down at the bottom, it will say bonus and it will say Iclone DAS Genesis extension version 4 Iclone 7. Okay, so just make sure you download that. Click on the download again. It will download onto your directory, onto your downloads folder. Once you have that downloaded, it's a zip file, as you can see, so it needs extracting. So let's just find out where it's stored. It should be on my downloads folder. Yep, I'm just going to cut that onto the desktop just for now. Actually, I'll cut it onto the desktop just to make things easier for myself. And once it's on the desktop, you just literally extract it. So you right click on it. If you got WinRAR, you can just right click and click extract files. If you got the Windows zip extractor, you should be able to just right click and extract all. I think the option is for that one. But basically that's all you do, extract the zip file in whichever medium you're using, whether you're using WinRAR or the Windows extractor or 7-zip or even WinZip if you're using that. Literally just click on extract it. Just put it into the folder where you want it. I'm just going to put it right here, and it will be labeled as Iclone DAS Genesis extension and version 4 Iclone 7. Right, so really what you got to do is just have a look at this guide just so I don't get it wrong. So we've done that. Right, we've downloaded it, we've put it into the folder. All we have to do now is open into the DAS Genesis folder. So there's a DAS Genesis folder. We should see, probably if we go into here, DAS Genesis to Iclone. Yep, so you need to click into that as well, DAS Genesis to Iclone. And you will see the Genesis characters that are available. So I generally use the Genesis 8 character and the female character for my demonstration, so I might decide to use that. You might have a Genesis 8 male character, but all you literally do is I'll just show you very quickly how to do this. Right, so obviously you find the folder of the matching DAS Studio character you have, and you open the folder, then you find the Reallusion folder inside of it. So basically what you do, once you've decided you're going to have a Genesis 8 female character, you see that Reallusion folder, you basically copy that, all of that folder. It looks like all of that folder. Yep, the Reallusion folder, and copy it to the path where your DAS Studio library is. So you need to find where your DAS 3D library stuff is stored in. Now as default, it will be the default directory. If you look into here, how to use, it will show you, please copy the folder of Reallusion, and it tells you to copy it to C users public documents my DAS 3D. So basically it's wherever your DAS 3D library is located. Wherever you saved it. Now, in my videos, I think it was on this one here, the Genesis extension, and find what you want to find. In this case, Genesis 8 female. You open up, you just copy this Reallusion folder, okay, and all you do is just basically put it into where it should be, into the DAS 3D library. So you basically copy this into wherever your DAS 3D library is, and in my case, it's the eDAS 3D my DAS 3D library. In the case of the standard directory, it's C users public documents my DAS 3D library, and then from there forward onwards. So that's basically where it goes. It needs to go into the exact directory. So once you found the DAZ3D library, you need to find the data folder, and then the DAZ3D folder, and then the Genesis 8 folder, female and morphs, and make sure you copy and paste it exactly into that folder path. Very important that. And after that's done, all you do is you open up DAZ Studio as it says here, and basically you just drag it in, literally. So you just drag in the Genesis 8 female DUF file here onto the actual Genesis 8 character you want to actually export, and it's simply as easy as that. So all you do is then it will create the face key for you and export FBX into 3DX for you, and that's all you do. So basically, if I just go into that very quickly for you, I just open DAZ Studio. Right, so DAZ Studio is open. I'm just going to copy that folder over to show you what happens. So basically, I've got it on the C drive on this computer. So I'm just going to open up this folder now. You can just copy and paste this path exactly as it is. If your path is on the C drive, then you can literally copy and paste that exactly as it is. If it's not, you can just give it a few tweaks and then copy and paste it that way after you've located where it is. So I'm just going to put that into a new file here. So File Explorer. And I'm just going to pop that into here and say paste. Right, so once that's in here, it shows us the exact path we need to be in Genesis 8 female morphs, and that's where the Reallusion folder goes. So all we do then is we find the Reallusion folder again. It's in here, that's Genesis to Iclone, and we just copy that directory completely, not the actual inner folder, just the whole folder itself, and then we paste it straight into the morphs folder and just paste it straight in. Now that is ready for us. So we've got that ready. We need, that's the folder copied. Okay, and that's that. And then all we need to do is just put in the Genesis 8 character and then apply the DUF onto that. So let me just put in the Genesis 8 female character very quickly. I'm just going to put it into solid bounding box and figures, and then we just find Genesis 8 female very, very quickly. I don't really use this feature too much because I'll just show you the general way of how to get it set up at least. I've never used this feature, but it's for lip syncing and some animation stuff, so you can get it incorrectly into Iclone. But I don't really do this kind of stuff in DAZ Studio, so it's not too important for myself. But let me just show you how it works. So you've got the Genesis 8 female there, and then you just put in the wardrobe, the clothing. Sorry, I'm just going to put in that clothing as usual, and I'm just going to pop in the hair. I'm just going to stick any hair on. Good job. Okay. Right, and once that's done, we can safely go into texture shading mode. We can see the character on the actual screen, and all we have to do now is we just need to make sure that's clicked, okay, and so this character is all selected, and then all we need to do then is go back into the morphs folder, the Genesis 8 extension folder, and then we just find this Genesis 8 female Iclone face key DUF, left click and drag straight onto the character, so, and that applies the key onto them. Now obviously we didn't see it doing anything there. Let's try it again. There we go. Right, the preset contains information for frames beyond the length of your. Would you like to add frames? Yes. And basically you should get some kind of message and it should apply the keyframes. And once that's done, basically has made that character ready for the Reallusion export. Basically, if you're using the DAZ Genesis extension. Now that's as far as I go with that because I don't really use that tool that much. But basically that's all you do is after you've done that, and obviously you've done that and you've dragged on the actual DUF file onto the character on DAZ Studio you want to export, and that's literally it. That's the steps completed. I don't know what happens after that, but that's basically your character ready then to be used for that particular type of animation. So that's how I use the DAZ Genesis extension inside of Iclone and how to use it inside the DAZ. I think what that means is that will then come through with the lip syncing that you used in, in Character Creator. So obviously it's the lip syncing doing character creator that comes through on this. I never really see that happening too much, so it's not something I can show you, but yep, that's how you do it. If I just look at the animation here, window timeline, sorry, it's created a animation sequence. Nothing on there though, but yes, it's done that for you. Now let me just close down DAZ Studio. Don't need that more. That's basically that's the DAZ to Genesis extension. Showed to you very quickly how it works. What I'm going to go into more detail with now is this Unreal Live Link plugin setup. I'm going to show you now how to set that up. Now there's several things that needs to be done for this, so it is quite complicated, right? So the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that let's close all this down. Right, so what you need to do, you need to make sure you've installed Unreal Engine for a start. Now, it's very important to have the right version of Unreal Engine. I might not have the right version at the moment. Basically, you go into the Epic Games Launcher, you go into a library. I don't think that's the right version, 4.26.2. To be honest with you, I think it's 4.25. So what I can do here is I can just go into install and I can say 4.25.4 and then install that into my computer, and obviously read the conditions and accept. Obviously we've got to pick where I want to save it. F drive I think is where I've got all this stuff installed. Let me just double check. Yep, that's where I've got all my Epic Games stuff installed, so that's absolutely fine. Epic Games, Unreal Engine 4.25. Okay, and then yes, I'll quit short. That's not a problem. And then just click install. Okay. After you're happy with the file path, and then you wait for it to install that version. I think 4.25 is very important for this. We'll find out as we do the steps as well. So let me just have a quick look though what we actually need for this version, right? So obviously the first thing we need to do is go into the Reallusion website, and we need to make sure when you go into the registration folder, Unreal Live Link, you need to find that product, Iclone, then you need to click on to download, right? And then it will ask to download the file, that one there. So that's the Unreal Live Link, it's the exe file plugin. All you do is you click on download again, and it looks like it does it directly from the hub actually, this one. So let me just show you it's been installed. If I check on the Reallusion hub, I just go into installed. Yep, it seems to already be installed. Okay, so the Unreal Live Link plugin is actually already installed. So is there anything else with the installation then? If you don't have it installed, it looks like now you have to install it directly from the hub, though you can't install it from the manual install anymore. So make sure you install it from the hub. And once you do that, once this is ready, I don't know the exact version of Unreal Engine you need here, so you have to test it out in just a minute. Right, so it's asking for further feature installs. I have to make sure I install that. So that's the Microsoft.NET installer, version 3.5 and 4. Okay, I get this. Make sure I select private network. Okay, so Microsoft.NET has finished, so it's just down finally, so I trial that. Once it does that, Unreal Engine should then be ready to run. So let me just go back to the Epic Games Launcher. I don't know where the shortcut saving now. So I'm just gonna open into 4.26. I think that's the one I was actually using though, so that should be all to go. Just go into create shortcut though. So it should make desktop somewhere. This should be Unreal Engine 4.62. Just rename it. Sometimes it's not very clever at identifying exactly what version it is on here, and it just overwrites which one it is. Right, so that's, I think, 4.26.2. We'll find out in just a moment. It should be, because it's created a shortcut successfully. So when it runs, we'll find out. And as you can see, it says 4.26.2. Just waiting for it to load up now. Since this is the first time I'm initializing into Unreal Engine on this computer, it may just take a little bit longer, so just bear with it. There we go, so it's asking to select or create a new project. Well, I have absolutely nothing saved on this computer, so I'm just going to go into Games and I'm going to click on Next. I'm just going to go for what I prefer on Unreal Engine, which is the third person, and then click on Next. And then all we do here, we leave everything default. We want Blueprint for easier access, and we want to make sure it's maximum quality. Ray tracing, it's up to you if you want to enable it. I just keep it default. Desktop that I'm using, and with starter content, and then just save the directory where you want to save it in. So I'm going to change the directory on here by clicking on the dot there, sorry. And I'm just going to pick where I usually save my stuff. So it's software install. I'm just going to save my project, and I save all my projects on my other hard drive. I'm just going to say pen drive for now, and I'm just going to make a new folder in here called Unreal Engine very quickly. I'm just going to call it Unreal Engine Test, right? So that's that, and that's. I'm going to save it. I'm going to call this my project should be just fine. And then we just click on Create Project, and then we just wait for Unreal Engine to make a new project for us. We need that new project enabled before we can start using any plugins from Iclone. So it's very important to make sure you have an active project opened into Unreal Engine and you've run it through, and the project is actually running and active at the same time. Because then what we need to do is to go into the settings into Unreal Engine, and we need to enable the plugin and make sure it is enabled for us, so then we can switch between the two effortlessly. Okay, so just bear with it. Right, so Unreal Engine is now finally loaded up. It says new plugins are available. If you go into Manage Plugins, quite intelligently usually finds what's actually on the computer. In this case, it hasn't really picked up what we need. If I just type in, I think it's called Live Link. There it is, yes, so Live Link has been, so that's basically what we need to enable here, Live Link. So we just click on Enabled here, okay? Okay, I'm just going to enable the standard Live Link, which I usually do anyway, and then it needs to restart the engine, so make sure you click on Restart Now. And that's why it's important to make sure it's saved inside your actual project, because it saves that plugin then inside of the actual project. So again, if you type in Live Link is now enabled inside of Unreal Engine, and that is the Live Link of Iclone kicking in into actual effect there. Okay, so as long as it's enabled, we're good to go. You can enable the control rig if you wanted to, but we don't need to on this particular occasion. So I'm just going to keep that like it is. Now it's very important to keep this open at all times, so keep Unreal Engine open whilst you're doing the Unreal Engine Live Link transformation. And then all we do then is just go into Iclone itself, and then we just make sure into Iclone that we actually enable it inside of Iclone as well. So that's a bit more different now. So what we need to do is to go into Iclone itself. So it's actually a bit more difficult than you would expect, because you need to find the actual folder of where it's saving into Iclone and put it, and make sure that you open the correct Live Link folder for the Unreal version you're using. So I'll show you in a moment what I mean by that. It does require a few extra steps, so just bear with me. Right, so in a blank slate of Iclone, all we do, we go into plugins and we look at for here, we go for the Unreal Engine Live Link, okay? Unreal Engine Live Link. What we want to do now is we want to find the Live Link plugin folder. So make sure you go into plugins, Unreal Live Link, and you go into Live Link plugin folder. Very, very important that. Make sure you do that, and you will also need to do the Iclone auto setup as well. So we'll do both in just a moment as well. We don't do it from here. We do it from here instead because, sorry, we do it from here because it's easier and you need to locate them folders anyway, so we'll do that in a moment. So yeah, it says get to Unreal, right? So that's fine. So Unreal Live Link. So let's do this one first. Find Live Link plugin folder. What it will do is it will go into the Live Link plugin folder and it shows you the active versions it supports. So it looks like 4.26 is supported and so is 4.27. So it looks like we're in luck there. So we've got 4.26 here, we've got plugins, and we've got the R Live Link. Now what we have to do is we need to make sure that we copy this whole plugins folder into our active directory where our project is saving for Unreal Engine. This is the difficult part because we need to find our Unreal Engine project file, okay, that we've just saving on here, which if you remember was on my pen drive folder. So what I need to do here, we need to go into the right click and go into File Explorer. I go into my pen drive hard drive, and I'm going to go into my Unreal folder. I called it Unreal Test. So where is it gone? Unreal Test. There it is, Unreal Engine Test. My project. Right, that's what you need to do. You need to go into the actual project folder and open it up completely, and you will see these folders: config, content. Okay, all you do is you paste in the plugins folder straight into this folder in the main directory. Opened, and once you do that, you copy the plugins folder straight into here. So once that's opened, all we do is we go back into our plugins folder and copy that folder completely, and we paste it straight into the like so. Okay, and it puts it in for us, right? That's now the Live Link setup, right? What we need to do now is, right, so that's just don't import anything yet. We don't want to import anything just yet, right? So if I then go back into the Iclone here and I go into plugins, Unreal Live Link, and then I've got to do a similar kind of thing with the Iclone auto setup as well. So you haven't installed Character Creator and Iclone setup tool, it can automatically be assigned. Would you like to download it now? So I've not downloaded the Iclone auto setup tool yet, so first have to do that. So you click on No More, and that gives you more information. So I'm going to go for the latest version, 1.22. Okay, and then we just click on download, right? And there we have it. It's the Character Creator and Iclone Auto Setup, the latest version that's available in this list, and it is compatible with Unreal Engine 4.27 as well. I'm hoping it works with one. Right, so that's that one. We're going to try and stick with the latest one if we can though. And all you do literally with this is just run the setup file and install it onto the actual main computer. You need to make sure that that is installed and working. Okay, let's just do that now. Where the Reallusion shared plugins folder is. Okay, so I'm just going to change that to the F drive and then point the directory from there onwards. So I'm just going to change my path F from here, right, and then I'm going to go into the Reallusion folder, and then I'm going to make sure that shared plugins is opened up as well, and then click on next, and that will now set it up inside of there for ourselves. The shared plugins, and there we can see auto setup tool has been installed on there as well, as you can see. And we can see it's set up for 4.26 as well, so let's do anything else there. That's perfect, right? So that's not a problem at all. And the Iclone live link as well has been successfully set up as well for ourselves in the Reallusion shared plugins as well. It's supposed to be, so it's all in the right directories now. All we need to do now is we need to just pinpoint exactly which version we want of the actual auto setup tool. In this case, it's going to be 4.26, and we just need to get the folders from it. Okay, all of that. Right, and here we are. Okay, so now we've got the auto tool installed on here. So if we go into Unreal Live Link, we can go into the auto setup folder, and there we have it. So it puts it straight into the right folder, and we just go into Unreal, find the version we're using, and then we follow the instructions on here. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that both the content and the plugins folder is saved in the main directory of the actual project. So plugins Unreal Live Link, find folder. Okay, right, and then we just go into here, File Explorer, and find the path where our Unreal Engine stuff is. So it's the pen drive, and it's Unreal Test and a project, and we just literally overwrite it as it is in here. Okay, so find the version we're running, which is 4.26, copy the content and the plugins folder, very important, and then hit paste. Okay, that will overwrite the existing files that are in there as well. Okay, so, right, and once both the Unreal Engine Live Link and the Auto Setup tools have been installed, if you go into the folder in the plugins, you'll see Auto Setup tool is in there. Okay, and the Reallusion Live Link is in there, so that means it's been correctly set up. If you go into the content folder, you will see a folder called CC Shaders, that's Character Creator Shaders, and it will have all the stuff in there that's created as well. And if you've got all them folders in there, it means you're all good to go, and you can start using the Unreal Engine Live Link inside of Unreal Engine and Iclone itself. Let's go into headshot, and it's from Character Creator. We just want to put this character into Iclone. Again, this is the one made from headshot. Right, now what we can do inside of Character Creators, we can do a basic pose in there. So we can look at the pose settings in the motion tab here, and then go into edit pose. And this is the easiest way to do it. And then we can just control the parts of the body, and then just click on Control click to select more than one part of the body. Press W on the keyboard to move the character, like so, and press E on the keyboard, letter E for echo, and that will literally rotate the character and make already, as you can see, a nice little pose going on there. So yes, that's basically how you do that. So you just move the character around, and then that makes the basic pose or animation for them. But you can't make animations in Character Creator, so we won't look at that anymore. But what you can do is you can import some motions in. So let's just have a quick look at that. Say for example you want to put an animation, you'd go into here, pose, and then you would find the relevant section for female, and then you would select, or male if you've got a male character, and then you just have one of these motions, and as you can see you've got some interesting poses here you could use. So you could use any of them poses you want to on your actual character. Okay, so not bad. Okay, so that's just a quick way of getting motions in if you want to put them in yourself. Right, now say if you're happy with the character and the way they are, you just want to export them into something like Iclone, you can do that. You can also, if you got CC3 plus character, which I didn't realise before, I wasn't selecting the actor before, that's maybe why, but you can actually still convert it to a game base as well for things like Unreal Engine. So that's available to use. You don't need to do it like that though. You can do it through Iclone, through the Unreal Engine Live Link, which I think is the better method anyway. So when you've got the actor selected, all you do is you click on File and you click on Export, and then all you do is you click on Send Character to Iclone. Okay, and with that clothing and everything selected, it will put it straight into Iclone for you. It will load up Iclone and process all the necessary tasks for it to do that. Just bear with us a few moments. Right, so Iclone is now opened up, and I've showed you all the features. It's going to load up that last bit now into Iclone, the actual character. I've already showed you how to use Character Creator now quite in depth actually, so I'll be starting to look at Iclone now. So that's Character Creator covered. I've showed you the motions as well in terms of the poses, and there really isn't much else you can do inside a Character Creator. That's pretty much it. I've showed you all the main functionality of the software anyway. The only other things you can do in Character Creator is save things as clothing presets and stuff like that, but I won't be covering that in this section because that is for content development for Iclone and Reallusion. If anyone is interested in that, obviously I will put videos on later on, but that is not something I'll be covering at the moment, and I will be looking into all them sections later along as I go further into the softwares as well. So this is just a diary log really. I'm closing down Character Creator now, we don't need it anymore. Save a bit of energy on the software as well. Right, so our character is now inside of Iclone where we ultimately want it to be. So it's in the main software Iclone now, and that now is almost ready to go. All we need to do with this character is apply some kind of animation onto her. So we don't want her to be like that, obviously we want to apply some animation. Now what we're going to do first is we're going to apply some basic animation, well some animation the more difficult way by manual method. And what I prefer to use for that is the motion layer, but there's also the motion puppet. I'll just show you these quickly how these work so you get an idea. Motion puppet is kind of handy because you can just select something, make sure you're on a timeline and click record, and basically what happens then, you press space on the keyboard, it records the animation, you decide how long you want to record for, and press stop. Okay, and that basically creates that motion for you on a timeline automatically. That's amazing, simple yet effective. Okay, so then you can chop and change, so then you can have a drunk animation if you wanted to, and you can decide to have it halfway in between that or after that's finished. I'll just have it around there near the ending to give a bit of a different kind of animation onto that, and press space, and then we have like a drunk animation going on. And again we decide how long we want to keep it for, and then press space to end the animation. And then if you press play you can watch both of them animations running them. And it'll transition between the boxing animation to the drunk animation, as you can see. So that's quite a nice, and that's one feature of that. I like the motion puppets, very easy to set up animations, very nice. Not something I usually use though, but that's just one way of doing animations inside of Iclone. There's also direct puppets. I think that's if you're using motion control sensors. I'm not using that, so I can't really use that. So I'm going to use here something called Edit Motion Layer. Okay, and inside of this we can control the parts of the body. Okay, so make sure that you select one of them and then control click the different parts you want to. And again, just like in Character Creator, W is to move the character, like so, or the parts of the character, and E is to rotate the actual character or the parts of the character. Okay, so you can do some fancy animations and poses already there. And again, you can select different parts of the body and different, so that's that animation, right? And see if I okay, say if I do it around there and I say, okay, I want the arms to come back up now. So, right, moment. Right, so it's right, it's not there we go. Right, so that's better. And then we want to move the arm well. So we want to move on. There we have it, and that's the arms moving around. And then we want to move kind of the legs as well. So we click on the legs and we rotate that, similar kind of motion. Okay, and then we move the timeline again, just slightly, and then we click on them three, and then just have a different type of animation, like. And then we just kind of play the animation back, and you can see she's doing some kind of dance going on there. So she's boxing there, well, boxing pose, and then she's going into a drunk pose, but you can't really see it much, and then she's kind of animating the motions that you've created. And moving her legs, and that's quite a smooth animation going on there. So yeah, that's basically how you do the animations inside of Iclone itself as well, one of the more complicated features. I'm not going to show you too much into animations because animations can get a bit tricky, but if you are good at making animations inside of Iclone, this is definitely the best way of creating some very nice animations very, very quickly, if you know what you're doing, that is. Reference material is always important when you're doing animation, so just bear that in mind. That's the motion layer, that's just how you do motions. And as you can see in Iclone, it automatically creates this timeline for you. In DAZ Studio, you don't ever get this, and you just literally, as I've shown, you just move along the timeline and you play the animation that you want to with the motions you want to, and it's simple as that. Literally, it's recorded straight onto the timeline for you. Very easy and very simple to use. Once you get used to it, that is. Animations can be a bit tricky, like I said. And then one thing you want to do is you want to really mix and match animations of different characters. That is one of the ultimate goals you want to try and do and achieve. So one way of doing that is if you just move this character out of the way a bit, just by selecting her and pressing W, and then just moving her out of the way just slightly. Okay, and then we just want to put in the character here in the content tab. We want to make sure we're in the actors tab, not the actors, sorry, the character tab there, the head for the actor. And then we want to go into character, and then we want to make sure that we select something like this, the O1 G6 character, which is proper animations on there. And then we want to select someone like Heidi and just place her on the map, and there we go, she's on the map now. And then we can just move her again with W and just translate it so then she moves a bit closer, right? And then just move the actual whole of Iclone scene itself, okay? And then we just want to get the motion she has. If you might click on it now, you'll see an option called Perform. And these animations aren't working at the moment, I'm not sure why. Okay, so one way you can fix it is if you go into, is it gone now? Character 3D Exchange. If you just select onto the actual main tab here, Attributes, and go into Edits in 3D Exchange, the character will appear in here. This is quite a good software if you want to edit motions and animations as well. Right, so, okay, one file not found. Right, so what we want to do now, which is a bit strange, motion library. Okay. Yes, the motions are over there, it's saying. Right, so we'll just put it back in. If I go into Perform Editor now. Right, still not. So the weird thing is she's got these animations on her timeline here. She's not carrying any of these movements out, which is a bit strange, isn't it? One thing I can't do on here is find out where the path of words are. Well, we know where they are, it's the F documents. I mean, what we can do is we can try and re-import it in again and see if we can fix it that way. Let's just try that. So, F documents, Reallusion, templates, Iclone 7, and then we go into motion. And then we find a character which is G6 and it's Heidi, yeah, so it's G6 and Heidi. There we are, and there's all the things. So I have no idea why it's not working. What I need to do then, I'm going to clear all this out. I'm going to delete all of this from the thing. Just press delete on all of these. Right, and what we can do then is click on import. And I'm just going to go into this file path here. And paste that same file path into there. Okay, and these are all the things that we want to import, all the moves. And then we just click on open. Okay, right, so 11, please make sure the structure is the same as the one editing. So that is a bit strange, isn't it?